My dad hired a consultant to ruin me. She saw my wasteful spending saved lives and destroyed his plan. The factory floor is loud. It is a specific kind of loud. Hydraulic presses hissing, steel clanging on steel, the low-frequency hum of the ventilation. It smells like ozone and cutting fluid. I like it. It is honest. My father, Silas, hates it. Silas likes golf courses. He likes boardrooms. He likes selling things he didn't build. He wants to sell the company. But he doesn't want to sell it as a functioning business. He wants to strip it, sell the client list to a competitor, auction off the machines, and sell the land to a condo developer. It's a part sale. Maximum cash, zero legacy. To do that, he needs to prove the manufacturing side is bleeding money. He needs to justify shutting down the line. I am the manufacturing side. I am the obstacle. He hired a consultant. Her name is Elena. I was on the floor, checking the pressure gauge on press 4. I heard the clicking first. It wasn't machine noise. It was the sharp, rhythmic impact of expensive heels on concrete. I turned around. Elena walked down the center aisle. She did not look like she belonged in a Chicago factory. She looked like a weapon. She is tall, 5'8". She has dark brown hair, thick and wavy, falling over one shoulder. She wore a navy pencil skirt that fit her like a second skin. It traced the curve of her hips and the line of her thighs with mathematical precision. Her white blouse was silk, buttoned to the top, but the fabric clung enough to suggest a shape underneath. Every guy on the line stopped working. They stared. It wasn't just that she was beautiful. It was the way she moved. She didn't walk around the grease stains. She walked through them. She owned the floor. She stopped in front of me. She held a tablet against her chest. Her nails were painted a deep blood red. "Liam," she said. Her voice was low, smoky. "You must be the executioner," I said. "I am the auditor," she corrected. She looked me up and down. I was wearing oil-stained coveralls. She didn't blink. "Your father says this facility is a sinkhole. I am here to measure the depth." "There's no hole," I said. "Just overhead." "We'll see," she said. "I need a desk. And I need access to everything. Ledgers, supplier contracts, maintenance logs. Go back 5 years." She turned to walk toward the office. I watched her go. The skirt tightened as she walked. The movement was hypnotic. I knew right then. This was going to be a long week. My office is a glass box overlooking the floor. Elena took over. She pushed my things to the side. She spread her files out. She leaned over the spreadsheets like a surgeon looking for a tumor. My stepbrother Noah walked in. Noah runs the books. He's sharp, quiet, and the only person in the building who knows the numbers better than I do. He closed the door and leaned against it. "She's digging into the capital expenditures," Noah said, his voice low. "Silas texted me. He wants me to flag the steel variance as waste." "What did you tell him?" I asked. "I told him the variance is allocated to quality control," Noah said, adjusting his glasses. "But he doesn't care about the truth, Liam. He's building a case for negligence." Elena didn't look up from her screen. "He's doing a good job of it, too. The numbers look terrible." She tapped a column with a pen. I walked over. "Explain this," Elena said. "Your scrap rate is 0.2%. The industry average for aerospace machining is 4%. "We're good at what we do," I said. She turned her head. Her face was inches from my waist. She looked up. Her eyes were dark, almost black. Intelligence burned in them. "Nobody is that good," she said. "Zero scrap means you are over-engineering the raw stock. You're buying military-grade alloy for commercial parts." "I pay for the certainty," I said. "If a valve fails, a plane drops." "It's inefficient," she countered. She stood up. She was close. Too close. She crossed her arms. Her breasts pressed against the silk. "You are emotional. You buy the expensive brand because it makes you feel safe. Silas counts on that emotion to make you look expensive." Noah stepped forward to intervene. "The raw material cost is offset by the lack of returns, Ms. Vance, if you look at the net." "I'm looking at the gross," she cut him off. "And the gross says you are overspending. I have an MBA from Wharton. You have grease on your face. I'm going to recommend the cut." Noah looked at me. He didn't flinch. He just nodded slightly. "She's tough." "Get in the truck," I said. It was 6 a.m. Elena was standing in the parking lot. She was wearing a trench coat over a black dress. She looked skeptical. "Where are we going?" "You want to cut the supplier?" I said. "You need to see the steel." We drove for an hour to the rail yard south of the city. We walked through the mud. Elena didn't complain. She marched through the dirt in her heels. She was tough. We met the supplier, Old Man Miller. He showed us the stock. "This is the cheap stuff," I said, pointing to a stack of rusted beams. "This is what Silas wants to buy. It has microfractures. You can't see them, but under pressure, they snap." I walked her to the secure shed. "This is what we buy." The steel was pristine, alloyed, cold-rolled. Elena ran her hand over the metal. Her fingers were long, manicured. She traced the grain of the steel. She looked at it closely. "It's denser," she murmured. "It's purer," I said. "We machined this down to 5 microns. If there's an air pocket, the valve blows." She looked at the cheap pile. Then she looked at the expensive pile. She took out her tablet. She made a note. She didn't say anything. On the ride back, she was quiet. She watched the road. She tucked a strand of dark hair behind her ear. "Noah sent me the breakdown," she said finally. "He ran a simulation. If we switch to the cheap steel, our output increases by 20% in the short term, but the failure rate jumps 300%. "He's loyal to the product," I said. "Silas thinks Noah is a pushover because he's polite, but Noah plays the long game." "And you?" she asked. "What game are you playing?" "I'm not playing," I said. "I'm working." She looked at me. Her expression softened. "Just a fraction. Work is expensive," she said. I was leaving the factory late. I saw a black sedan parked near Elena's rental in the overflow lot. It was Silas. I stayed in the shadows of the loading dock. I shouldn't have listened, but I did. Silas was leaning against his car, smoking a cigar. The ember glowed in the dark. Elena stood 4 feet away, arms crossed against the cold wind coming off Lake Michigan. "You're taking too long, Elena," Silas said. "I'm paying you to find a corpse, not to check its pulse." "I'm paying attention to the details, Silas," she said. "That's what you hired me for." Silas laughed. He reached into his jacket. He pulled out an envelope. It was thick. "I hired you to close the deal," Silas said, leaning in. "There's a $50,000 completion bonus in here. Cash. All you have to do is sign off on the negligence report by Friday morning, before the board meeting." He held it out. Elena looked at the envelope. Then she looked at Silas. "You want me to fabricate a finding?" she asked. "I want you to be creative." Silas smiled. "It's just numbers, sweetheart. Make them dance." Elena took a step forward. She didn't take the envelope. She reached into her purse, pulled out a lighter, and lit a cigarette. The flame illuminated her face. She looked bored. "I don't dance, Silas," she said, "and I don't take tips. I'll finish the audit, and you'll get exactly the report you deserve." She turned and walked away. Silas threw the cigar on the ground and got in his car. I stood in the dark. I realized then that she wasn't just a suit. She was a fortress. It was 10 p.m. The factory was running the night shift. The rhythmic thumping of the presses vibrated through the floor of the office. We were tired. We ordered Thai food. Containers were scattered on the desk. Elena had taken off her blazer. She was in a sleeveless top. Her arms were toned. She spent time in a gym. She rubbed her temples. "I went through the maintenance logs," she said. "You spend 4 times the average on preventative maintenance." "I don't like downtime," I said. I looked at her differently now. I knew she couldn't be bought. "It's excessive," she said. But she didn't say it with conviction. She was looking at the screen. "Look at the uptime," I said. I leaned over her shoulder. I pointed at the graph. She smelled different now. Warmer. Muskier. 99.8%. She read. "Industry average is 85%, I said. "We don't stop. We don't break. That means we ship on time. Every time." She scrolled down. She compared the cost of maintenance to the cost of lost production. She paused. "You're saving money," she whispered, "by spending it." She spun her chair around. I was still leaning over. We were face to face. She looked at me. Her eyes searched mine. She was seeing something new. She wasn't seeing the incompetent son anymore. She was seeing the operator. "Silas cooked the books," she said. "He moved the maintenance costs to losses instead of investment to make the profit and loss statement look bad. He wants to show the buyers that the machinery is a liability so they'll agree to scrap it." "I know," I said. "He lied to me," she said. Her voice got hard. "I hate being lied to." She stood up. She stretched. Her back arched. The movement was fluid, cat-like. "I need to rerun the numbers," she said. "All of them. Tonight." "Tonight," she said. She looked at me. "Make coffee. Strong." The factory was running hot. I was in the office with Noah. He was typing furiously. "I'm tracking the IP addresses," Noah said, not looking up. "Silas is sharing the client database with a broker in Hong Kong. He's pre-selling the contracts, Liam. He's going to get us by Monday." "He can't sell if the factory is still the most valuable asset," I said. The alarm went off. It wasn't a drill. It was the high-pressure warning on the hydraulic line. Press 4. I didn't have to say a word. Noah was already on the radio. Noah spoke calmly into the mic, code red. Clear Sector 4. Medical team to standby. Shut down the intake valves. I ran out of the office. Noah stayed at the command desk, locking down the perimeter. Professional. Elena was already on the floor. She was wearing a hard hat and a safety vest over her black dress. She was interviewing the foreman. The main line hissed. A seal blew on the primary piston. Steam and hydraulic fluid sprayed into the air. It was a white cloud of superheated oil. The workers scattered. Hit the E-stop. I screamed at the foreman. I did. The foreman yelled back. It's dead. The breaker won't trip. I looked at the panel. No lights. Silas. He had deferred the electrical upgrade last year. He saved 10 grand to kill the safety circuit. The pressure was building. If the manifold blew, it would take out the support column. I ran toward the machine. The manual shutoff valve was behind the spray. I saw Elena. She didn't run away. She stood her ground. She shielded her face with her arm, watching me. I dove under the pipe. The heat was intense. I grabbed the iron wheel of the manual valve. It was hot, radiating heat from a blown line. I gritted my teeth and cranked it. 1 turn, then 2. My skin screamed. The iron seared my palms. I roared and hauled it down. The machine groaned and died. The spraying stopped. Silence returned to the floor. I was soaked in fluid. My hands were burned red, blistering instantly. I stood up, my breath coming in ragged gasps. Noah's voice came over the PA. Sector 4 secure. Maintenance teams, move in. The adrenaline faded. The pain arrived. It felt like my hands were on fire. I sat on a crate in the break room. The paramedics were busy with the guys on the line, who had inhaled the fumes. Give me your hands, a voice said. Elena was standing there with the first aid kit. She had taken off the safety vest. Her dress was ruined, splattered with oil. She didn't care. I'm fine, I grunted. Shut up, Liam. She pulled up a chair. She sat knee to knee with me. She opened the burned gel. She took my right hand. Her touch was incredibly gentle, a stark contrast to the way she handled Silas. She applied the cool gel to my palm. I hissed through my teeth. Sorry, she whispered. She didn't look up. She was focused on the wound. Why did you stay? I asked. On the floor. You should have run. She wrapped the gauze around my knuckles. I needed the data, she said perfectly deadpan. Elena. She stopped. She looked up. Her eyes were dark and guarded. I wanted to see who you were, she admitted softly. When the pressure spiked. Everyone runs, Liam. Most CEOs would be in the parking lot calling their lawyers. She finished the knot on the bandage. She rested her hand on my wrist, feeling my pulse. You ran toward the fire, she said. That's rare. She stood up abruptly, breaking the moment. The auditor mask slid back into place. Wear gloves next time, she said. We have a board meeting to win.